While millions of Americans chose to cast their ballots before Election Day, likely due to COVID-19 concerns, millions also chose to vote in person on November 3rd. KIMT News 3's Madeline Watkins checked in with voters at a polling place in Rochester to see why they chose to physically show up to hit the polls this election year. Madeline?
Brooke, I was at Sunset Terrace Elementary School around noon on Election Day, and I would say there was a steady crowd of voters walking through the doors there. And I'm told before the doors even opened, though, there was a crowd of about 50 people waiting to cast their ballot right at 7 a.m. So if you chose to vote in person on Tuesday, you noticed the many precautions that were in place. Plexiglass was set up separating voters from the election judge. There were marks on the ground to help with social distancing. Everyone, of course, was wearing a mask, and no one had to touch a pen that someone else already used because there were plenty of extra pens on hand. One woman that I spoke with actually brought her own pen just to play it safe, and her reason for voting in person was simple.
I have never encountered tons of lines at our site, so that made me more comfortable to come the day of, and after seeing how many did, like I said, the other options, I figured there can't be so many coming.
Now, according to the Minnesota Department of Health, the risk of contracting COVID-19 by voting in person is comparable to going to the grocery store, Brooke.
That's really interesting. All right, thank you, Madeline. More than 101 million votes were cast before Election Day, and the U.S. Elections Project predicts a total of 160 million ballots by the end of the election. The race for the mayor of Austin is on between Jeff Austin and Steve King. There are no results reported just yet. The winner of this race will replace Tom Stein, who has served for 2 terms. Before the election, there were just 3 more Republicans than Democrats in the Minnesota Senate, so this could be a chance for the chamber to flip blue or for Republicans to gain a stronger majority. Meanwhile, in the Minnesota House, there are currently 16 more Democrats than Republicans. Every seat in the Minnesota legislature is up for election.
In Republican-controlled Iowa, 125 legislative seats were up for grabs. That's all 100 seats in the Iowa House of Representatives and half the seats in the Iowa Senate. A handful of those races are in our viewing area.
Minnesota currently is the only state in the country with a divided legislature. The GOP controls the state Senate and the DFL controls the state House. So will it stay that way? Well, that's up to you as we still wait for every vote to be counted. It's now 6:43 on this Wednesday.